Okay, I'm in my den, and I'm going to make a noise here in a little bit that I'm going to do something that will create a noise, and it's something that I haven't heard for quite some time, about a month and about 6 weeks now. And here goes. We're going to start. I'll start slow, and it'll get louder and louder. So here we go. Okay, do you have any idea what that noise was? Gary Waters, do you know what it is? Okay, I'm going to show you. It's been a while, but here it is. Oh, there's my Dynam aerobatic trainer hanging up there. Well, here it is, Gary. It's ready to go. It's my Super Hawaiian, as you know. And for everyone else, this boat used to have 2 brushed motors in it. Each brushed motor I checked and was running about 6,500 RPM. I've now those motors came out a long time ago, and I replaced them with one brushless motor, and it changed it upped the speed tenfold. And since that time, and that was with a 13-tooth pinion, I now have a back in the back here, which you can't see it in the transmission, not the transmission, but on the end of each one of these motors is a 21-tooth pinion. So I've gone from the 13-tooth pinion to a 21-tooth pinion, which is like what, a third more, half more, 50% more. Yeah, went from 13 to 21, half of 13, 6, boom. Yeah, it's about 50% increase. And the other thing is, the old brushed motors, each one of them, like I said, turned 64, 65, 6600. When I tested one of these new brushless motors, instead of the 6500, it was turning 21,000. So now I've got 2 of these brushless motors in here, 2 ESCs. I'll be running off of two batteries, and they're as you can see, zippy 5,000 milliamp, high discharge, and this boat should absolutely fly. And as a matter of fact, when I gave it throttle a while ago, I swear that it almost, with the prop in the back, it was pushing so much air, I thought I actually saw it starting to slide across the table. But anyhow, I'm going to fire it up slowly like I did before. You can see what's happening with this palm plant to the right of it. So here goes. Okay, that's going to be the end of this little noise-making session. The next thing that has to happen is I'm going to fill one of our bathtubs up, or at least put enough water in it to float the boat. And then I'm going to, with this meter, I'm going to be checking the amps that each one of the motors is drawing. Because at one point, the amperage being pulled was 39 or 40 amps. These are 45 amp ESCs, but doesn't make any difference. I still ended up frying one of the ESCs and the motor. The motor got so hot, it absolutely, you couldn't touch it for about 10 minutes. So anyhow, when I had the single motor in there, I had fashioned a water cooling with copper tubing, 1/4-inch copper tubing. That's what this plastic is in here now. Of course, I've got to change the length of these tubes, but as I can show you, I'll flip this over. What I've got on the bottom, I drilled a hole back in the back, and right there, that's the pickup tube. Water goes, obviously, as the boat's moving forward, water goes into this tube right here, up through, in here. And what I'm going to do is, of course, I can't put copper tubing, I can't wrap copper tubing around this, it would just be entirely too tough. So what I'm going to do in place of copper tubing, I've got this length of plastic tubing. What I plan on doing is going around one motor on the bottom, coming up and going over the top of this one, under it, and up through and over the top of that one. So I'm going to kind of figure eight it all the way down, so it's got a pretty good contact all the way. Of course, I'll be connecting into here, and then the other end of the tube, after I'm through with the creating the eights, I'll cut this tube off and I'll plug it into this one, and this is where the water exits right here, the warmer water. So hopefully that'll be enough to keep the motors cool. I also think what I plan on doing is taking, once I get the plastic tubing wrapped around here, I'm going to take some aluminum foil and wrap it, try to slip it under the motors and over and cover that whole area, so that the coolness of the water coming through, the heat will be saturated into the water, going through the piping, and be expelled out the exhaust water port. So anyhow, that's the plan. Unfortunately, right now, I live in Columbus, Indiana, and right now, the last place that I was able to even use my small boat, I've got from Horizon Hobby, I've got it's called a React 17. I'll go around here. I got the canopy is off right now. I can show you. I'll put it, just lay it on there. This came from, like I said, Horizon Hobby, and the last place in town was down at Millrace Park, or at least last open water that I found was at Millrace Park in one of the ponds. And the only reason it still had open water was that there's a fountain out in the middle of it, and just the sheer pulling water up. I assume it's pulling the water up from a lower level, which would be warmer, and that water then is circulating to the top, and it kept it from freezing. But I did go by there today, and the other day it was the free water or open water all the way to the shore, where you could easily I could easily put this boat in and ran it quite a bit. Matter of fact, it was snowing that day. But anyhow, now I went by today, and that area is frozen. The only place that's open water now is about a 40-foot or 50-foot circle around the actual fountain. So Okay, that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to put it on YouTube, send a link to my buddy Gary Waters, who's helped me out tremendously in getting this boat converted from the old brushed motors to the new brushless motors. And obviously I had this all set up where I could take one battery and actually lay it right in. It would set right in there perfectly. But what I've got to do now is I have to take all this. It actually set right in this area here. So what I'm going to have to do is take all this out and start over. I assume what I'll be doing is facing, it's wide enough, so I'll probably have the leads of one battery for this ESC over here. I'll probably have this battery will be with the leads at this end, and because this battery connected to here, then I would have this battery next to it, and it'll be facing this way. So anyhow, I've got to do some work there. I've also got, once I get that done, I had originally, you can see I've got foam here, foam there, foam here. I did have foam in all these other cavities, and what the foam that I had was, I got a block of foam, put it in a bathtub with water, and set the boat on it, and I then used the foam, the amount of foam that it took to keep the boat afloat. I then took that foam and cut it up into all number of kinds of pieces of different shapes and stuffed it in all over. So that's a protection in case the boat should somehow try to sink. I'll have enough foam in it to prevent that from happening. I got this boat, just for your knowledge, our remote control club here in Columbus, the Bartholomew County Remote Control Flyers Club, we had a swap meet back October 18th, and I went to it, and this was the first year that they had an auction at the very end of the swap meet. And like I said, the swap meet was over. It was like almost noon. It was about 12 o'clock noon. And so before everybody left, they started the auction, and I wasn't paying much attention. All of a sudden, I saw this boat was up on the auction block. And what happened was this, like I said, this is the first year for it, and what the club did was they asked different members and people around the community to donate something for the auction, and then all dollars from the auction went into the coffers of our club. And anyhow, all of a sudden I saw this boat up there, and I started bidding on it. Well, I come to find out later, after I'd won the bid, I found out that this boat, it's about 15 or so years old, maybe even older, and back then this boat would have cost in excess of $200, and my final bid was $30, and I got it. So I got it, and that's $200 back 15 years ago. I don't know what it would be now, probably 450, something like that, 400, 450. So anyway, I got it for $30, but since then I have put about $250 into it. So I probably could have just gone out and bought I don't know how fast this thing's going to go. The big thing that I'm concerned about now is when I put this in a tub with water and I'm testing the ESCs or the motors to see how many amps it's drawing, because I don't want to burn it. Obviously, I don't want to burn up the ESC. I'm hoping with two motors, each one having half the load on a 21 tooth pinion, I'm hoping that the amp draw on each one of them individually will be, instead of 39 or 40, hopefully it's going to be down 34, 35. Anything even less than that would be even that much greater. And if that being the case, then this boat is obviously going to fly like crazy. And knowing that, then if I've got more amperage that I can draw, then what I'll start doing next spring, summer, is that I'll start experimenting with other props. I'll have to talk to some guys who really know their P's and Q's on boats, because I'm a newbie when it comes to boats. And but anyhow, I'll find out and let them see this particular prop and tell them everything about the boat, what the motors, RPMs, amp draws, and all that. And hopefully they'll be able to suggest a prop that would even increase the speed further. So anyhow, that's it. Going to say adios for now. It's getting pretty late. Matter of fact, it's early morning here in Columbus. Can't let me see the clock right now. Oh yeah, it's well, I'm a night owl. It's 1:47 a.m. So I'm going to put this out on YouTube and send an email to Gary, giving him the link, and then I'll be heading off to bed. So, but anyhow, hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you, if you're thinking about a boat, there's a number of things you can do. You can. I saw a boat the other day. I think it was Tower Hobbies. You can buy it like for $250, I think it was, maybe 300 maximum, and it comes out of the box and runs 70 miles an hour. So I don't know what this thing's going to do. I'll be happy if it's 50 miles an hour or above. So anyhow, that's it. Good night. Hope you have a good day, a good weekend coming up. Tomorrow's Friday, January 22nd. My birthday's January 23rd on Saturday, but I'm celebrating it tomorrow night. I'll be 77. Anyhow, having the fun of my life. So for right now, see ya. Bye.